How's it going, everyone? Jiivita here with a sovereign world overview. This includes both the sovereign worlds and creative worlds and basically renting your own planet. So this kind of walks you through the process of doing that and gives you a little preview of just how much control you have over actually customizing the world, because unfortunately you do have to actually purchase the planet before you even get to see the customization options. So this should be a good way for you to get a good idea of what you're in for before you have to put any money down. So you can, while in game, just hit escape, head over to the shop, and then there is a new worlds section which gives you kind of an overview. Okay, what's a sovereign world versus a creative world? But ultimately you just want to go down here and click open world shop. It'll open up a web browser which will then take you to this. There is a frequently asked question covering rentable worlds on the Boundless forums. I'll put a link to that kind of describes what's going on here, but in a nutshell we have 3 different sizes of worlds to pick from, which is pretty amazing because I got some not so great feedback saying like, oh, we're stuck with the small worlds, which, you know, the small worlds are the size of exo worlds, which are 34 regions, which are plenty big enough for just about anything I could imagine, but maybe some people have much bigger plans than I'm even imagining. So we have small, medium, and large. Small is the same size of exo worlds. Medium is actually the same size as the permanent worlds we currently have. So the large is bigger than anything that has yet to be seen in Boundless. So that is kind of freaky right there. But anyway, moving along, so the small is essentially $10, the medium is $20, and the large is essentially $40. So, and that also comes with, or scales, or whatever you want to call it, with the concurrent player limit. So that's how many players can be playing at the same time on that planet. The planets can support essentially unlimited players on that planet at different times, so it's not like, you know, 10 players come and put down a beacon and then nobody can join sort of thing. That's just how many can be on any given time. So that scales basically perfectly with the price. So the small can support up to 10 players, so that's your planet that's for just your family, a small guild, or just a good group of friends. The medium planet, that's $20, so that supports up to 20 players. That's a pretty nice sweet spot for just about anything you can imagine, unless you just plan on having a guild meeting with, you know, 50 plus members on, you know, it's just not. I suppose the really large hunts that size planet wouldn't quite be able to handle, but then we have the large planet which will support up to 40 players. I believe the current limit for permanent worlds is 50 players, so it's still not as many as, like, say, the permanent worlds, but that should pretty much meet your needs. Some of the largest hunts there are might not be able to quite support that, but that's a 40-man hunt. That is a pretty busy hunt. You're just kind of following the cloud of chaos while everything dies around you at that point. So, but certainly, I guess if you're just gonna have a really large group of players playing together, that would be the option for you. We have the world fuel down below here. There's a little bit of strangeness going on with world fuel in that essentially the price of the planet, that starts you off with 1 month of fuel for the planet, and you should really just take that to mean that's how much it's going to cost you per month to fuel, period. Because this says 30, and that will be 30 days for the small planet. However, it gets scaled down to the larger planet, so it's only 2 weeks of fuel for the medium planet. And then it's only 1 week for the large planet. So if you wanted to buy 1 month for the large planet, you actually need to come down here and buy the $40 package, or the improved world fuel. That would be 120 days for the small planet, but only 1 month for the large planet. So it's kind of a little interesting. So So for the medium planet, you chop these numbers in half, or you take a quarter of these numbers for the large planet, and then you can take it at face value for the small planet. But enough rambling on that. Let's go ahead and jump in here and do the small world. You can pay with PayPal, and there's actually add it to cart, and you can see. So you have your 3 different payment options down here: Shop Pay, Google Pay, and PayPal. I guess maybe if we do just a checkout, we might be able to, yeah, you can just put in your information here along with presumably a credit card. I have heard of some people having issues with the credit card denying this transaction just because it's an international transaction, unless, I don't know if you live in Europe, or I'm assuming this would be based in Europe. But I'll be doing PayPal, but I'll go ahead and pay for this and meet you on the other side. Okay, so I completed the transaction process. They note that you're going to get emails related to this purchase, and those emails include a link that will take you to actually customize your world. They do note that it will take up to 24 hours for it to actually be generated and spawned, and there actually has been a few unforeseen hiccups that I guess certain configurations for some reason is crashing the world generation process, so there might be a little bit of an extended delay. It sounds like this is a little bit of a manual process for them to do, so it won't be instantaneous is what I'm trying to say. Looks like there is some options here if you're needing help to fill this out. Down here, it asks you to put in your username, your primary character name, and also the key that was supplied in the email that you received that gave you this link in the first place. The link automatically fills that in for you, as well as the order ID number. So I'm assuming this order ID number started at 1,000 and that there's been 320 of these sovereign worlds ordered. Otherwise, that is a crazy number of new worlds to be trying to generate. But anyway, and then down here you can enter in what region you want the planet to be tied to. So you have the US East and West, as well as Europe and Australia. So you can't, unfortunately, pick the actual planet that your sovereign world will orbit, but you can pick at least the region, and then it will automatically pick, like say if you do a tier 6 world, it will orbit another tier 6 world or the closest approximation it can find. There is a note that they said about creative worlds is that you can open a creative bridge or a portal from the creative world to a regular planet to anywhere essentially, which that kind of goes against what at least I interpreted from the patch notes. So I don't know if they changed that, or maybe I misread or misinterpreted what they were saying in the patch notes. But so basically you could have your tier 6 creative world off in the boonies and still open up a bridge to your level 1 world that your home is on. So that is actually really cool and really makes a lot of sense because of the set portal sizes for the creative bridges, and also that once you go through a creative bridge, if you go through another one on the creative world, it just takes you right back to your last survival location. So you really can't use creative worlds to travel around, and being able to open a creative bridge to your creative world from any planet, that just kind of makes sense, because I mean you can open up a warp from any planet for free to your creative worlds, or to any creative world for that matter. But enough rambling on that. I'll probably do US East just because that's closest to where I live. And then we get a definition of what creative worlds are here, as well as a definition of sovereign worlds, and we want to do a sovereign world. And once you're happy with all of that, you can click next, and now we can actually get down to the customization. So you can do a predefined world configs. From my understanding, or what's been communicated to me, is that these are essentially the same configs that were used to generate all of the planets in the Boundless universe, except for maybe, exo worlds, but all the permanent planets. And so you can click that, go next. You can always go back, so don't freak out or anything. And then you can see basically what you get here. You can do the level and the type. So What I find interesting is you can actually have a level 6 coal and metal world, which those don't even exist currently in the Boundless universe. So that's actually kind of really interesting. Like, what does a level 6 metal world have on it? Is it, going to be mostly gold, silver, titanium, or is there still going to be lots and lots of copper and iron? So kind of interesting little tidbit there. But that's pretty much what you get. You pick the level, so we could do a level 1 all the way to level 6, and then the world type. So yeah, you can. So if you want anything other than essentially a lush planet, you do have to have at least a level 3 world. If you want to start using the elemental worlds, it has to at least be a level 5. And then of course level 6, it's actually everything but lush planets. So unfortunately we can't have a level 6 lush planet, but really there wouldn't be anything that much interesting on a level 6 lush planet, other than I guess you could pick some really extreme terrain sort of thing. But click this, click next, and now you are presented with an option to give a little bit of feedback, general comments about Boundless to share with the dev team. And if you click submit, then you finalize the process, which of course we don't want to do that because we're more interested, or at least I am, the advanced selection. So here you get to actually cherry pick the biomes. So again, right here you pick the overall level and type of planet. So I guess we could start off with a level 1 lush world. It gives you kind of the fluid pattern right here, which you can pick like if you want rivers or you don't want rivers. They do say rivers do not create oceans. You must select ocean biomes if you want large areas of water and or lava. Or I guess it's water, there's no and there. It's either or. That actually reminds me that there's this important little thing out here. It has water fluids. What does that mean? Well, it has an up and a down arrow. So that just means that the first one, water up, that means there's going to be water on the surface. And then the down arrow means that's what type of fluid will be down below. So if we come down to blast, you'll see that there's water on the surface and then water down below. Come over here to a burn planet and you have lava both on the surface and down below, etc., etc. So you can pick all these different patterns of water. You can also have no rivers whatsoever. The spiral is kind of halfway interesting, and really probably this one or this one is probably my personal favorite. So we can go with rivers too, why not? Next up, so there's different levels of biomes, and when you're doing this you have to pick a set amount of each level. So here it wants us to pick 8 level 2 biomes for this planet, and you get pictures that kind of represent the overall look of what that biome's kind of gonna be like. But if we scroll down here, we might only have access to level 2 biomes. Okay, here we go. So now we can pick up to 4 level 3 biomes. Or it's not really up to, at least 4. Scroll down and see if it has us pick. Ooh, so we can even pick up the level 4 biomes, which that's pretty cool just because it gives you access to the Gleam Lake biome, which gives you access to essentially these gleam balls or gleam sphere formations, which are just absolutely amazing for farming gleam. Very nice. Can we actually pick level 5 biomes as well, I wonder? Okay, so yeah, that's kind of the cutoff for that. So if we go back, just to kind of give you a spectrum, we can go down here, pick a level 6 world. We don't really care about the world type at the moment. We're just looking at the biome selection. So this will have you, it does bump down. It looks like we don't get to pick any of the level 2 biomes. It starts off at level 4 and then it actually goes all the way up to level 8 biomes, which gets pretty crazy looking. You see, this is pretty, you know, bizarre, strange. I mean, was that? Oh, array? It's just like a form of grids or whatever. There's also one, it's like floating rivers. It's literally like carved water or something. Seaweed mountain. That's pretty crazy. There we go. Oh, standing river. That's what it's called. That's like, it's a river, but then everything that's not river's been removed. And oh, tentacle outcrop. That's pretty cool. That's kind of Nashville had mountains, kind of reminiscent of that. And before we get too crazy looking at all of the different biomes, I've jumped over here and switched over to Creative World, where there's actually some more options that initially I didn't think would be there. So which world profiles should be used to generate your world? So right here we have the standard pick your level and type of world, but then there's even a day-night lighting profile which should be used on your world. The day-night lighting profile defines the color of the sky and sun throughout the day. So that is actually really cool. So yeah, so let's do, say, a burn planet, which usually has like hot pink skies, but you can actually, let's have a burn planet with a chill world sky. Why not? You know, that's actually really cool. Or you could just have a lush world lighting, which will just kind of like Earth-like kind of lighting. So that's really nice. So say you like how burn worlds look, but you want it to have different lighting, you can apparently do that. Which material should be used for subterranean liquid? So you can pick, oh, I want water down there, or no, I want lava. And then you can also do the same for sea level. So in other words, you can have your lush world with lava on top, or, you know, etc., etc. So that's really nice. And then, of course, now we have our fluid pattern. So if you want grid, rivers, or no rivers, spiral rivers, etc. How to select biomes for your world. Each biome defines the landscape, caves, resources, weathers, blocks found within a region, etc., etc. So here we can basically cherry pick all of the biomes we want. We recommend that you select about 12 biomes for a small world, 15 for a large world, or about 20 for, 20 for a large, 15 for a medium. But really, none. Oh, so you can have, if you didn't want any of the level 2 biomes, you could do no level 2 biomes. And so we can scroll down here, so it goes to level 2 all the way to what, level 8? So yeah, there's our level 8 biomes, and I've actually already gone through and talked about just about all of these biomes, so we'll probably jump back over to that footage, except I don't remember seeing that. I don't believe this was available when I was looking at a tier 6 planet, and which has access to level 8 biomes. That does not look familiar. So are there things that you can have on a creative world that you cannot have elsewhere? Maybe I just didn't notice it. Yeah, because I don't remember seeing the river mountains either. That's interesting. Huh. Oh, so maybe world type? Maybe world type limits you a little bit on the types of biomes you can have. Yeah, because I don't remember seeing growth fields, so I think I was looking at a toxic planet or something, and so maybe literally some biomes are not available on certain planets. On the creative side of things, from my understanding, there's no limitations on the biomes that you can pick. So you can have as many or as little of each level as you want. Theoretically, you could have one biome for the entire planet. It was one Mount Doom planet. There we go. It's just nothing but these mountains. Moldy sea. Oh, yeah, I guess you could, if you wanted a super flat, you could do just like an ocean biome, and then it'd be on you to build all of the land, but you at least wouldn't have to clear out a whole bunch. That's a thought. So, pretty cool. Angular mountains. Those just look pretty bizarre. If anything else jumps out at me, yeah, no, I saw stone walls. Okay, so very nice. I can't quite tell. There seems to be one or two biomes that I didn't see when I was customizing the other planet, or I was over looking at an elemental world. But then most everything else looks pretty much identical. I think for the sake of time, I'm going to skip trying to go over every single biome, or even when I was doing that, I wasn't really doing that. So, but anyway, that's like would add an extra 20 minutes to the video, and I think you all get the idea of, you know, there's your level 2 all the way to level 8 biomes. If you're doing a sovereign world, it will require you, based on the level of the planet, to pick at least a certain number of each biome. So you can't just completely omit a section, or say you're trying to make the ultimate bitter bean planet, you can't have nothing but, you know, ice on it, sort of thing. So it makes you kind of balance it out. But on the creative side of things, ooh, there's the Stonehenge refab biome type thing. But anyway, pretty awesome. Can't wait to get mine. I already have one ordered. I did try to tip the scales towards bitter beans, but also I threw in a little bit of desert just because I had to pick something for maybe sweet beans. It's a toxic world, so I did pick some oceans just because I had to throw in other biomes, so maybe it'll be decent for emeralds as well, etc, etc. So I'll probably do a separate video kind of looking at that plant to see if it was anywhere close to what I was intending it to be, or if there's like some interesting little side effects sort of thing. Anyway, this was Jiivita. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and if there's anything you didn't like, please let me know down below. Also, if you want to get cool perks, check out my Patreon page. A little hint, there might be just one, maybe even more patron planets on the way, so stay tuned. Till next time, peace.